Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So we got some data mines the other day. I already did a video covering the bundle data mines. We'll have a link to that below if you haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. But we also got the data mines for the May season. So we already kind of know what's coming up in April with Hitmonkey and some other things. But now we have an idea of what's coming in May. A lot of people expected that it would be a Guardians of the Galaxy themed season to coincide with the new Guardians movie. It looks like that is the case. So we can see Nebula is looking like our season pass card here. She was data mined a while ago, but they said they didn't really like her original design, so she was going to be changed before release, and it looks like that has happened. And then we can also see some other cosmetic stuff here. We have Gamora and Star-Lord as our other variants for the season, and some avatars and card backs. Really love the card backs. I think the card backs are super sweet. Really some of the, I think, better ones we've gotten from the season pass so far. So let's take a look at all the news we have for the upcoming cards in May. So starting out with Nebula, our season pass card for May. Nebula is a 4-cost, 6 power with the ability each turn your opponent does not play a card here, gain +2 power. And then in parentheses, except the turn you play this. So this is pretty neat. It's kind of like a inverse Guardians of the Galaxy effect. Instead of getting a bonus for guessing the right lane, you get a bonus if your opponent isn't playing anything there that turn. Part of me wishes that didn't have the little parentheses, except the turn you play this, but that does enable some more counterplay, which is usually a good thing. And this seems like a pretty reasonable card with a much more interesting design than she initially had. The image here might be a 1/1 because that is the original image we have of Nebula, but looking at the Datamined pass splash art, which is usually correct, looks like she's going to be a 4/6, as this card would be pretty insanely broken if it was actually a 1/1. So 4/6 is looking like the actual stat line here. Nebula is not the only data mine we have, though. We have the 3 cards that are going to be entering the game in Series 5. So we're going to start off with the 2 more simple ones, and then we're going to take a look at probably one of, if not the coolest card I think they've ever released into Series 5. So starting out, we have Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is a 1-cost, 2 power with an ongoing tap this to see the top card of your deck. So for any fellow Magic players, like me, might have gone a little thrown off when you see tap. They just mean click it, right? But that's kind of a neat effect. You get an idea of what you're going to be drawing next turn, so you can kind of plan out your game plan in advance. Also, the fact that it has an ongoing text means you can get it buffed with things like Spectrum. So maybe the Spectrum Zoo list that was getting a little popular with Thanos, maybe that has a place for this card. It's definitely an interesting effect, and it gets a bit more interesting when we take a look at our second data mine card here, which is Iron Lad. Iron Lad is a 4-cost, 6 power with the ability, on reveal, copy the text of your deck's top card. So this is pretty neat. I do think that it is a very RNG heavy card. Now, maybe you could build your deck in a way where it's more likely that you're going to have powerful card text on most of the cards in your deck. So you don't have to worry about, which one it actually is. Or you could play it with Howard the Duck to basically know, hey, this is on top of my deck, so I know what I'm going to get. But that seems a little optimistic to me, though. But maybe there's something there. We'll have to wait and see. Worth noting, this is a 4-drop, so it's actually something that could come out on turn 3 with Zabu, and I think you're definitely going to see some synergy with that. It also could be interesting if you're running Howard the Duck as well. You could actually go Howard into Zabu into Iron Lad if the top card is good. So definitely seems like a pretty neat card, and I'm curious to see where it ends up finding a home. And then we saved the best for last here, High Evolution. This card seems really, really crazy to me. So High Evolutionary is a 4-cost, 7 power. At the start of the game, unlock the secret ability of all your cards with no abilities. So I'm pretty sure everybody, when they first read this, was like, what? What does that mean? And we actually have the full list of all the secret abilities that get unlocked, but just in general, I think this is a really neat effect, and I really like that there's another card that is giving use to these textless cards outside of where they found a home in Patriot. So we have all the different textless cards here and what they actually gain, and there is a pretty strong power reduction theme here, which I think is very cool. So Wasp, on reveal, afflict 2 random enemy cards here with -1 power. Misty Knight, when you end a turn with unspent energy, give another friendly card +1 power. Shocker, on reveal, give the leftmost card in your hand -1 cost. Cyclops, when you end a turn with unspent energy, afflict 2 random enemies here with -1 power. Thing, on reveal, afflict a random enemy card here with -1 power. Repeat this 2 more times. Abomination, cost 1 less for each enemy card in play that's afflicted with negative power. Also worth noting, this does apply to things like the Scorpion buff. I'm not sure if it applies to locations. I would imagine it does, but I don't think that's been confirmed. But this seems like really powerful, especially combined with all the other cards we have that now have ways of reducing their power. And then Hulk, ongoing, +2 power for each turn you ended with unspent energy. So there's a lot to take in here. This is a really pretty crazy design. And one thing I've seen a few people talking about is whether the stats on High Evolutionary are, are they decent stats relative? I mean, obviously we get a very powerful effect in boosting all our other cards, but how good is a 4/7? And I'm in the camp that a 4/7 is actually pretty good. It's not going to be the main thing you're trying to get out. You obviously want to play your other boosted cards, but sometimes just getting 7 power down on turn 4 isn't a bad thing. If we look at all the other 4-drops, the best you usually are getting for 4 is 8 power most of the time, and all those 8 power ones usually have some kind of hoop to jump through. So 1 less power for an effect that boosts, most of the other cards in your deck by a significant margin, while still being a pretty reasonable amount of stats for its cost. This seems very good to me. I think this card is actually crazy strong. This is another one where I think Zabu will be good as well, because getting out 7 power for 3 mana, very good, as we've seen with cards like Maximus, that even with the downside, it's still just really good for 3 cost. It also lets you get out that on reveal thing, which is pretty cool. I think this is going to be the most exciting card they've released in Pool 5 in a very long time, maybe since Pool 5 initially released. I do wonder if this is going to be a new big bad. I don't really know much of the lore around it. Maybe this will play a predominant role in the Guardians movie, who knows? But I'm definitely gonna have to look into it a bit more, but it would not surprise me if a card like this that had such a unique deck building effect on it ends up being a permanent Series 5 card. I hope that's not the case, personally, because I think cards rotating down is always a better thing for card accessibility, but there's no denying this is a very unique and powerful effect that basically makes a whole new deck type viable, and that's not something we've really seen a whole ton of in Snap outside of maybe some of the big bads like Thanos and Galactus. So there we have it. Those are all the data mines we have for the upcoming May season. Again, these are data mines, so the information here is always going to be subject to change. We have seen in the past sometimes some minor changes have been made, like for example, Kitty Pryde, her stats were changed. Negasonic had its stats boosted from 2 to 4, so it's possible there are some slight variations made between now and release, but generally, from what we've seen, the text on the card usually stays the same, if not the whole card entirely. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm really excited for some of these cards. I think it's going to be one of the better seasons, so looking forward to it. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.